These days down on the Lower East Side in the Bowery, if you were to hear the word Faro, it's probably referring to something you'll find in a organic Mediterranean bowl. But back in the 1800s, it was a card game. In fact, it was the card game, the most popular one for gambling in New York City and much of the country, particularly out in the Wild West. It was easy to learn, it was fun to play, and the odds were actually pretty good for the player against the house. At least they were supposed to be. The rules were pretty simple. Basically, players would make bets on which numbered card would be drawn next. Played with traditional rules, the house had a very slight advantage, meaning that it was friendlier to players than many other games. The problem was that as the game got popular, it was really hard to find a fair house, particularly in the low-down saloons and gambling parlors of New York's poorer areas. Dealers would use card shoes with preset or changeable orders or trick cards that would allow them to sway the odds in their favor. Not that players couldn't cheat as well, although it was riskier. The game usually moved at such a quick pace that dealers might not notice a player switching their bet, although getting caught could have dire consequences. For the house, a successful Faro grift relied on the naivety of the players, and in 19th century New York, there was a constant flood of green newcomers who had not yet acquired their street smarts. By the early 1900s, Faro's popularity was in permanent decline. There had been a crackdown on gambling here in New York State, but it was mostly due to the game's reputation for crookedness, eclipsed eventually by poker, roulette, and craps. Faro, the card game, has sunk into total obscurity.